Oh wow, I see you have people here. Wasn't sure if anyone would be here because it's New Year's Eve and most people go out. So thanks for joining me tonight. It feels like ages since I've been here. Hi, Keel. It's like ages since I've been here. I guess it's been 3 weeks, really. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Donnie. Hey, Sergey. Yeah, so welcome to the Sunday night non-duality talk. I'm back as normal now on Sunday nights. And before we start, there are some things under my website. If you feel like donating, you know, £1, £2, something like that for the talk. Hi, Joe. I'd be very appreciative. And also, I'm on Patreon now, and you get certain benefits if you sign up to that. I do a Wednesday night drop-in audio chat, and there's an extra one as well. And what else? My next live talk is in London on the 14th and 15th of April. You can find that on my website. And if you would like a one-to-one session with me, you can go through my website for that as well. I'm really enjoying the Wednesday night chats. They're very different from this because we just all, you know, interact, which is really good. And I'm going to see if I can get video working on that, because if I can, I might do some kind of online weekend mini kind of talks. Hi, Stephen from Seattle. Hi, Clark. So there's something in the happening which is appearing as searching for something. And that thing that searches for something thinks that it lives in the body, thinks that it's a person. It appears as if it's a person. And it's a kind of an unsettled, complicated, confusing appearance which conjures up all sorts of stories for itself about what is appearing, because it feels like it's separate in here. It equates everything out here as separate and happening to it. It equates itself with the body, with other people, with life situations. And that can cause a lot of suffering and distress. And neurosis happening, neurosis of this sense of separation is like a neurosis. It's a struggle. It's a constant seeking for what it thinks is home, what it thinks is the end of the story when it gets there, when it finally gets there. But what is happening is what it's looking for. What is happening is all that is. That is all that's happening. There's nothing else. And yet there's this propensity that really feels and lives in this reality that there is something else. And even in non-duality, in the happening, it's looking for something in the happening that it's not getting. And it won't get it, because this is There's nothing to get hold of. It really is just simply sitting and speaking and computer and rather insipid coffee and everything else that is all appearing at once. There's nothing to find in this, because to find something in it would be something in the appearance of duality. Oh, hi, Anne. Yeah, you are typing in the right place. Hi, Moy, from New Zealand. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Nothing can describe what this is, because a description would just be an appearance. There is no words to describe what this is, because the words would be just part of the appearance. So in that way, the thing that is being sought for is a thing that it thinks it will get, but that, if that would happen, it won't happen, it doesn't happen. But as an analogy, if it did find it, it would still be a thing appearing in this. The sense of self always appears as duality. It's the non-dual appearing as dual, but really it is still non-dual. The appearance of a me is still this, appearing as not this. So it can't be found as a thing. So the me goes along searching, 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 thinking and waiting and hoping that it will find something. But the actual reverse, it's the reverse. Nothing is found, because to find something would mean that it is separate. It would be a something. And that would just be simply a life appearing as that. So when people say they found enlightenment, or they have found the truth, or this or that, it would be a thing. Because the whole of everything is the whole of everything. It's not the whole of everything and the thing that is found. There is no finding. In fact, it's so awfully ordinary that the sense of self wouldn't even want it if it could see it, because it won't see it. It is just seeing that the sense of separation is actually an illusion, and that illusion is revealed for what it is. It suddenly becomes really obvious. And in that moment, there is the possibility of that illusion totally collapsing. And all that's left is literally sitting in a room speaking. And that is absolute free fall and utter freedom, but not for anybody. There's nobody here that is free. There's nobody here that has got anything. There is no one. There is no one here. There's just the appearance in the body of a contraction that says, I am separate. But that's all it is. It isn't anything else. It is not a person. It's a seeking energy, seeking for an end to itself, in this case, in non-duality. It doesn't matter what it thinks or says or intellectualizes, or thinks it's got hold of it, or thinks it's a more me or a less me. It's still the same appearance. And it's still the whole of aliveness appearing as that sense of separation. So it can't do anything. There's no hope for it. There's nothing here that is going to give anything to that to that thing that thinks it's a person, because it's just not true. But when it's there, it feels really true, and it's a kind of a fake. It's a fake. It appears, but it's fake. It's not true. It's an illusion. And what is talked about here is just that. It's talking about that sense of separation as being nothing but an illusion. But it's not talking to the illusion. It's not the illusion that hears this message. What hears this message is just hearing it. What senses this message as being, as ringing a bell, is not the me. It's just simply heard. That's amazing how more and more people are hearing it. Just gets revealed. And there's a sense of, yeah, well, yeah, it's always just been this. It's always this. There isn't anything else. There is never something that's going to arrive as this false hope called enlightenment. It's never going to come, because what is already everything. It's everything that the sense of separation thinks it's looking for. It's already here. It's astonishing, really. It's astonishing. It's astonishing that anything appears at all. There's nothing here that knows anything about this. There's no secret thing that is known here. There's no mystic truth. It's just simply just sitting here, happening. It's just happening. And we can't say what that is, because that would be another thing happening. There is no one that knows any ultimate truth, because there is no one. There are no separate individuals. There's just life happening for the human. And that's not separate from anything else. Well, I think that's it. An introduction. If anybody wants to ask questions, please do in the chat panel while I drink my insipid coffee. Hi, Sergey. If it is illusion, why do I feel it on the physical level? My body is real. Yet the sense of separation does not feel the body. The body is just felt. The sense of separation is an energetic sense, but you can't actually find it. You can't find it like you find a hand. Of course that you can feel that. Of course you can. You can feel it, you know. The body is sensation. The eyes see, the ears hear. The body feels. Yes, the body is real. I'm not saying that this appearance is an illusion. This appearance is beyond illusion and beyond real and unreal. It's beyond anything that can be thought of by the brain. But the sense of self, appears, but in its appearance, it is illusory. It's not who you are. It's not a you. It's not a person. It calls itself a person. It calls itself Sergey, but it's an illusion appearing as real. That's what an illusion is, isn't it? It's something that appears to be real, but is not. You don't feel the body. The body is just felt. Then on top of that, there's a sense of self that says, I'm feeling it, because the sense of I identifies with everything to do with the body. I'm feeling the hands touching. Is it? Or are the hands feeling each other touching? Well, really, in science, the brain is interpreting that. It's not actually the hands feeling at all. It's a brain interpretation. Amazing. The body is a machine, and it works with its senses and all the other miraculous things that it does. Miraculous. Kyo. It's too ordinary for me to want bam. Yeah, it really is. The sense of self is seeking the extraordinary. It thinks that the end of me is going to be extraordinary. But it's not. It is extraordinary because what's revealed is what always was here. It's always here. The sense of self kind of looks over it. When that's no longer there, it's just what? It's just obvious. It's just obvious. Oh my God, it's so obvious. Stephen, to make this a bit bigger. Really huge, with terrible eyes. It is seen here in this body that there appears only to be sensations, thought, feeling, emotion, and none of them stick around. There is no person in here. There was never a person here. Amazing. Yeah, there was never a person. Just the life happening, which includes thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, the outside appearances, the weather, the everything. It is amazing. Yeah, there was no person. Just the appearance of a contracted sense of person. Clark. So it's all a game that consciousness plays, but for what purpose? Purpose would be a thing. Purpose would be a separate thing. I can't find any purpose. It is only this. And what this is impossible to describe. There's no purpose as in the sense of self has purpose, like an ultimate outcome. That is a sense of separation story, that everything is an ultimate outcome. But what this is the only outcome. And it changes all the time. It changes. Oh, it just, it's too immediate. It's too immediate. It's beyond purpose. It's beyond meaning. Only humans give purpose and meaning to things. I don't know about consciousness. This is beyond any kind of thing like consciousness. You could say it's this having a bit of a cosmic laugh. I know. I'm gonna be separate. I'm gonna act like there is no wholeness, there is only separation. I have no idea why it appears like that. I have no idea how anything appears. I have no idea why there is space and light and molecules and things. And it's funny, isn't it, how we look for purpose when we don't see what is right in front of us, what is right here. This amazing appearance just kazamming out of nothing, constantly. To me, this is a miracle. It's utterly miraculous. Something more in it. We're looking for purpose in it or meaning in it. Because this, as Keel said, it's too ordinary for the me. Too ordinary. So it overlooks it because it's looking for something amazing, and it misses the amazing appearance. The freedom of it, the freedom for it to just constantly be changing and moving and coming out of nothing and being empty and full. Just incredible. Johnny, can you talk about where love fits into non-duality? Do you think it's just a human emotion? It feels for me, it feels for this me that it goes beyond the physical world we live in. Yeah, because the human equates love with feeling, doesn't it? It's love for things, love for people, just love for different, love can, the human can have love for many things, animals and nature, loved people. But the love that the human feels is just the way the human is. It doesn't really fit into it. Love appearing is no different from plant appearing. Love, plant, computer, space. This whole soup of existence is all the one soup. Love is just one of those things in it, just an ingredient in it. But it's not the whole of it. Because sometimes the human doesn't feel love, does it? Sometimes it can feel absolute loathing. What this is goes beyond the feeling of love. It is the absolute. It is absolute. The closest word is love. But I don't use that word much because it gets interpreted as human love. Absolute beauty, absolute wonder, but it's too ordinary for the me. Donnie, I mean, like death, beyond death of the body, etc. Maybe the reason we never stop loving people that have died, or is it just life loving itself? When we love people who have died, it's because we loved them when they were alive, and that love doesn't really die, does it? When you love someone, you just love somebody, whether they're alive or dead, whether they're in the room with you or in another country. Just because their body is not here, it's like when you fall in love with someone and you don't see them, doesn't mean you stop loving them. You're still in love with them, even though they're not here in the room. This is beyond that kind of love. Love is love for people and things is a beautiful appearance. It's beautiful. And it's just what happens. It's just what happens. Hi, Andrea. Joe, say yes to what is. No. Says Keel. just laughing here because Joe's saying something and Keel's saying no. Yeah, allowing or not allowing, all the same thing. And I've got a cold, flu, total misery, no way out. The me is very depressed, has very depressed thoughts with it. So difficult to be. Depressed thoughts are happening, Anne. They're just happening. Cold and flu are just happening. The wall is just happening. Typing is just happening. Utter misery is just happening. And that is everything that you think you're looking for. Ironically, that is what you're looking for. Everything that is happening is what you're looking for, even if it's depressing thoughts and total misery flu. That is aliveness. Aliveness is appearing as flu and depressing thoughts. Appearing as it's difficult to be with. And saying, you say it's difficult to be. Well, there is no one to be. There is no beings. There is just the appearance of something that feels like it needs to be. But what is being is the cold, the flu, the thoughts, the misery. That is being. That is what is. And the sense of self when it's in that situation says, no, I don't want this. This is not it. I've lost it. I've lost my equilibrium. I've lost my sense of being. It was never the me that was being anyway. It isn't being. It's an appearance in wholeness. It's wholeness appearing as separate, but it's still whole. There is the air, there is the sense of self, there is the flu. All at once, just banging into existence. Feeling like there's a time flow in it, feeling like it's moving somewhere, but it's not. Clark, so the thoughts aren't ours, they're just appearing. Yes, thoughts don't belong to anybody, because there is no body. Only the psychosomatic, energetic contraction of the sense of self, which isn't somebody. It's not a separate person who's in control of this life. It's not a separate person who's in control of the thoughts. The thoughts don't belong to anybody. The thoughts are just appearing, no different than the weather. Yeah, they are just appearing. Because the sense of self feels like it belongs in the body, everything that happens in the body thinks it's happening to it. They're my thoughts. I shouldn't have those thoughts. I should have no thoughts. That's a biggie, isn't it? I should have no thoughts. Well, the thoughts or the no thoughts don't belong to it anyway. Yes, that's it totally. But I still can't stop wanting it to be over. Yeah, that's the motor of the self. All it wants is it for to be over. But that sense of wanting it to be over is it. Is it. Stopping it wanting to be over is the aliveness, Anne. Joe. I used to like the Enduring the Blockheads many moons ago. When there is no longer that sense of separation, it makes no difference whether there is flu, no flu. Of course, the human will go towards the lemsips or whatever it takes when it's got flu, paracetamol, whatever. But it doesn't feel like it's happening to anybody. It's just happening. And often, colds and flus are kind of more intense because there's no kind of escape valve of the me there. The me is like a kind of a running thing that's running away from everything. It's running from the things it thinks is bad. It's kind of settled down when the appearance is what it wants it to be, like peaceful, less thoughts, situations are happening the way it wants to. As soon as things go wrong in its story, this is not the story I want, it starts running from it because it wants it to be this perfect picture, has this perfect picture of how life should be for itself. And it is never going to be that because these humans are subject to circumstances. They're subject to people getting in your face, to lack of money, to illness, to leaky roofs, you name it. It's subject to all of it and to the sense of self that is a story it does not, it will make a story out of that for itself. Those are not appearances it wants to be happening, so it runs from it. Sergey, there are no thoughts. There is only a memory about a thought. What actually is a thought? Damn. Thoughts are just pictures and words, aren't they? They're just pictures and words that run through the head. Or wherever they're running. I actually don't know where they're running. They're pictures and thoughts that run. That's the only way I can describe them. Pictures and thoughts. Pictures and words. We either think in words or in pictures or abstractly. The human can also think very abstractly about things. Stephen, and the person thinks that all these things are happening to me, but how can any of these things be happening to a person that doesn't even exist? Funny. Yeah, because the sense of self doesn't say the birds flying past the window are happening to me, but it says I'm seeing them. It doesn't say the wind, even something in the distance which is not attached to it. It doesn't equate those things with itself. Only when it comes into the purview. Say the bird comes in the house. There might be a story about the bird came in the house. How can this happen to me? Why does this happen to me? It doesn't. Nothing happens for anybody. And yes, intense suffering running away, but it feels good you saying that. It helps. Thank you. Yeah. It kind of breaks down the story, doesn't it? Breaks it all down. Yeah. It's kind of a remembering, isn't it? Like, oh yeah. Damn. I would say that the sense of self really actually loves the negative more than it loves the positive. I mean, look at the human race, it loves bad news. It loves the news. It loves the bad news. And people love to moan and complain and make a problem out of their life. Sense of self loves that. That's a juicy, juicy story, a real feeling of being alive. That's why it would never want this ordinary free fall. extraordinary, ordinary free fall. It wouldn't want this because there's nothing juicy in it for it. There's nothing for it. Can't make a story out of this for itself, you know, to get a sense of existence from it. Can't get a sense of existence out of this. Only in the story. The me always wants an answer. It's always looking for an answer. Even in this message, it's looking, it's hoping that it's going to get it any second now. I'm going to get it. She's going to say something. Sorry, I don't know whether I'm hot or cold. She's going to say something where it's going to go, oh yeah, I get it. But it's not like that. It's revealing the one that wants to get it as a total figment, an apparition, like a ghost. But it has no body. The sense of self has no body. Can't find it. Where is it? It's just a sense of looking around, isn't it? It's like a sense of perspective from here. But I'm looking out. I know I'm looking out. But where is this one that's looking out? It's not going to get that answer. Fireworks are starting. Spanish are funny there. Any excuse to set off fireworks. Any excuse. And I love the aliveness and the freshness in free fall, ordinary life. Everything has a new energy. But when seeking is there, it feels so dead. Yeah, because it's looking for something. So it's overlooking the wonder. It's and it can't do anything else but overlook it. It can't do anything else. It can't find it. It can't find this because there's nothing to find. And that is so alive. Yeah, so fresh. This is so fresh. And it appears as everything. Every single thing. Every single little thought, feeling. Everything, colors, light. You can't get that. When there's this flip-flopping going on, the sense of self is back, back, I'm back. And then it's I was like, where's it gone? I've lost it. Where's this aliveness? I've lost it. It's never lost. It's aliveness going, contracting into a sense of self that feels like it's lost it. And then this seems dead because it's looking over it. Keo, there is something strange with my memory lately. What was before is more gone than ever. It gets harder to remember often. My OCD doesn't like it at all. No, I bet. Yeah, well, yeah, when it seems that when the self starts to kind of fall apart, you know, come back and forward and back, it can have a bit of an effect on the memory. I mean, I got to write everything down now. It's just not everything. I've got a great memory for some things, but not for many things. My OCD doesn't like it. No, because OCD is what I know about OCD. It's a kind of a repetitive circle of thoughts that's oh yeah, I have someone very dear to me who has OCD. I know what it's like for them. Yeah, Keel, the memory can go. Let's get a good notepad. I don't go anywhere without my notepad. Yeah, Keel, a loop. Yeah. And it's like, it gets worse and worse, doesn't it? If that action is not taken, it's like it's a compulsion to do that action or whatever it is to stop the loop, as far as I know. Donnie, yes, I get those glimpses too, but so hard to hold on to. You can't hold on to them. Yeah, exactly, Keel. In a way, me is OCD. Yeah, it's a neurotic loop. Absolute neurotic loop. Me. That's what it is, isn't it? That's how it goes. Yeah, Donnie, yeah. This cannot be held on to because the sense of self cannot hold on to it. And it can't even see it. It can't even see it, never mind hold on to it. Because it is this, it's like, oh yeah, there's that glimpse. Then the sense of self comes back and thinks, I've lost it, and now I have to hold on to it. But nothing's been lost. It's still just this. Stephen, everything seems to be happening all at once. There's no separation between anything. It's like a lively big soup. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's all just the big bang. Not even every moment, just constantly. But without it being it's just impossible to describe. How can you describe this? How can you describe it? How would you describe sitting in front of a computer? You can describe feelings, thoughts, other things, but you just think they're just things. And that's just what is happening as well. How can you describe what is happening? You can't. Only intellectually. Yes, looking over, it is a great description. When seeking energy is there, it really feels like it's skipping over life. Continuous momentum of me. Yeah, continuous. And it's really crap, isn't it, when it's like that? The me is such a suffering thing because it's constantly yearning for this release or this freedom. It's yearning for freedom. Because the human, when it gets to a certain point, you know, when it goes from all this into spiritual teachings and then non-duality and wherever it goes off to, it's because it's come to a point where it's had enough of itself. It's had enough of this me. It wants this freedom that it kind of, the human sort of innately knows, because of course it knows it. Not, I don't mean knows it as I'm knowing it, but it knows it because it is it. It is it. Stephen, it can't be touched. No, it can't. Can't be touched. This can't be touched. It can't be described, touched, known, nothing. Donnie, yes, thank you. I know. But the me doesn't. No, no. The me is it's a me engine. Like someone stuck the chip in and it's been running ever since. Booted out of the garden. But not really. Not really. Because the me still is the garden. The garden appears as everything. All the flowers. Plants, me, wars, cute dogs. Everything, everything. I love fireworks. Joe, nothing needs to be added. No, nothing can be added. Adding to it would still be it. Everything, it's everything. And it's absolutely empty. And absolutely full. Absolutely real and absolutely unreal. It is and it isn't. It is, but it isn't anything. There's nothing happening in the sense of the way the human thinks something's happening. It's not happening with an end or a goal. And what an appearance this is. It appears as fields and forests and sky and stars and animals and people and plants and buildings and computers. It's wild. It's freaking wild. Amazing. 27 people watching on New Year's Eve. Like me, don't do New Year's Eve probably. Okay, we'll have 10 minutes left. Okay, well, there are no more questions. I might as well go. I'm going to be doing Discord. Okay. Remembering everything it is sometimes stops me panicking. Thinking I've got it sometimes stops me seeking. I haven't got it. Sorry, I'm going to start that again. Remembering everything it is sometimes stops me panicking. Thinking I've got it sometimes. It stops the seeking. Nothing to look for, nothing to get. Everything it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can appear as anything. It can just, yeah. Robert, hey Robert. Some people are doing 5-MeO DMT to experience ego death. I don't know anything about DMT. I know what it is. I know what it is. I have watched a few videos about it, but I've never done it myself. But who would experience ego death? It's still an experience. An experience is not freedom. An experience is just an experience, and when it's experienced personally, it's just an experience that's experienced personally. And then the person has to come back from DMT, back into this horribly ordinary life, and find that they're still there. And nothing actually happens, because nothing's happening. Nothing's actually happening. Nothing is happening to somebody. So ego death doesn't happen to somebody. You can't experience ego death. Nothing here experienced ego death. The self does not die. The self is revealed as an illusion and collapses all at once. It's revealed. Even if it's just a glimpse, it's revealed in that glimpse. But nothing dies. In a sense, the rug from underneath the self's feet is pulled away. There's nothing to stand on. There's nobody to stand on anything anymore. There's nothing left. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks. Okay, I'll go. And before I go, if anyone wants to donate £1 for this talk, because I get about 700 views, and if just 50 people donated £1, that'd be great. And that would really help me out. Oh, you too. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Oh, thanks for the fireworks. Yeah, yeah. I might go out in a minute and see if I can see any sparkles in the sky. I'm a bit of a child when it comes to fireworks. I go, oh, woo, so exciting. And yeah, see you all in 2018. And it'll still be this. It'll still be this. It'll still be this absolute timeless nothing and everything. Yeah, lots of love, everybody. And speak to you some of you on Wednesday. Oh, thanks. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone. And have a lovely evening. And see you soon. Lots of love. Bye.